And we're recording.
Thank you. Hello, and welcome to the Community Affairs Committee, the CAC webinar, 5 Hacks for Improving Your Community Social Media. My name is Maureen Scallatino, and I am the CAC Chair, and thank you very much for joining us today for this special webinar. I just want to mention as a reminder that Maureen Scallatino, who's our technical manager, has muted everyone. And we do ask for to please type your questions in the Q&A panel, and Maureen, our presenter today, will answer the questions at the end of the program. She has a lot of information, and we do have a large audience today, so we want to make sure we cover everything that Maureen has planned for us. So our presenter, Maureen Scallatino, has over 30 years of experience in marketing for the financial services, corporate relocation, real estate, manufacturing, and pharmaceutical industries. And she currently contributes and manages the website and social media content for the STC Philadelphia Metro chapter, the Southampton Community Band, and Los Angeles Canyon Living Real Estate. She's also webmaster for Our Lady of Consolation Church in Philadelphia, where she updated the interface, web design, and web content. Maureen has a BA in journalism and earned her MS in technical communication with a concentration in social media and online communities in 2019 from Northeastern University. And now it's my pleasure to turn over the program to Maureen.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. I appreciate that introduction, and thank you to everyone for participating in this webinar. I hope I'm able to give you some wonderful tips and tricks about how to help your engagement on your social media platforms, whether you are an experienced user or whether you are a novice user. Why social media? Is it important? Why do we use it? And Erin, if you can go ahead and click through to the next slide. Social media is important. And some of you may think, well, why? It's just a nuisance. Well, that might be your personal feed. But for business, it's another marketing tool for your arsenal, just like a flyer or a brochure or a press release. But outside of those things, social media can get to more people simultaneously across a wide range of social media platforms. It can also explain your brand without words. You can have a wonderful picture or a wonderful video, and you don't even need to have any text or a post that goes with that. It can reach different audiences simultaneously. You can pre-schedule your social media posts to hit all of your different audiences on whatever social media platform they're using the same day and the same time. And for everyone's budget, it costs nothing. If you are posting, and we're talking about posting organic content only. If you're posting organic content, it doesn't cost you anything. There's no paper, there's no printer, there's no overhead, there's no personnel that you have to go through. There's no stamps because you don't have to mail it. So it's very easy on the budget. If you are posting an ad or boosting a post, that's another issue. That costs money. You have to budget that in, but we're not going to be discussing that tonight. Okay, this is purely organic content. And like a flyer, it's very creative, and it's also very statistical because you have analytics that go with your social media platforms. Every social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, there's, I think they have one now or they're developing one now for TikTok. If you are engaging in business, they have analytics for that. So if you post something and you want to know who read it, who engaged in it, what time they did it, what day they engaged in it, how long they were on it, it's all in your analytics, okay? And the most important thing about social media is that as of February of 2019, 72% of all American adults are on at least one social media platform. And about half of that actually are on multiple social media platforms and are using them throughout the day. So,
Maureen,
yes.
I'm going to just interrupt. I know we said we would hold questions, but I think this is a good question. The question is, what's organic content? Because
organic content is non-paid content. So most people on Facebook is the most widely used social media platform. Organic means that it's not paid. You just post and that's it. An ad you would pay money for, and to boost a post you would also pay money for. So that's what organic posting is. Do we have any other questions?
No, not this time.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's a very good question. So if social media is so easy to use, why is it so difficult to understand? Well, because your brand message is much different than your personal message. If you, at any point in time during the day, go through your social media feed, who is complaining about the weather? Who is complaining about the political crisis? Who is complaining about something else? You don't normally have that type of a message in your brand. If you did, then you don't have any engagement, because that's not what your brand message is about. And also, you need to have an audience. You typically have a target audience. Right now, you are using social media for your business or for your chapter. You already have an audience. But you also need to have an intended target audience, because there's someone out there you're missing, because if they don't see you, you get no engagement with your brand because they don't know you exist. And social media is much different for business because it's very analytical. And it can be very confusing once you get into posting an ad and getting people into your funnel and so forth. So it can be very confusing at times. And also there's differences between your budget for an ad and your budget for boosting a post, because Facebook gives you parameters around an ad. They give you a little bit more of a parameter and to be creative and flexible to find your audience than if you're boosting a post. So that can be a little confusing as well. So, but let's move on. You're here for 5 hacks to make your social media engagement a little bit better. Like I said, whether you are experienced or whether you're a novice at this. Okay, hack number 1. You wouldn't think this was a hack, but it is. And you see it in your Facebook feed every single night. Everybody has a video. Everybody has a photograph. In fact, how many times have you sat in the living room or at work or in the lunchroom and you go through your video feed and all of your Facebook feed, and all of a sudden this video plays and it's at the loudest it can possibly be. My husband does it every night. He's drastically trying to find the volume on his mobile device to turn it off. But that's why it's significant. Everybody is using it. But there's a trick. You just can't use any photo or any video for your business message. Yes, it is a great way to boost engagement as compared to a regular post. So if you look at this particular post from the Southampton Community Band, this is just a text post. Is it engaging? If you are a member of the band, or if you are a parent of a band member, or if you just like the music and have been listening to it for a while. It's about a concert. When it is, it gives you all the details of the concert, where it is, when it is, where you can go to purchase a ticket. But if you were not engaged with the Southampton Community Band, you would probably scroll right past that without even any inclination. So a video and a photo would bring you and engage you into that post. Now, this is the post that actually went out on Facebook. The name of the concert is at the bottom. It's called Rebel Rousers. And those that are involved in theater, in music, are theater goers, just love musicals, just love the theater, will recognize this picture. And if you don't, it's from the musical Les Miserables. And one of the pieces, I'm also a playing member of the band. So one of the pieces that we did play was a compilation of tunes from Les Miserables. So this was, I thought, the perfect photo to choose to engage the audience. And we had quite a few people at this concert. And if you look at the date of the post, it was our last concert before the pandemic hit. So we didn't expect that, and neither did anyone else, but that's actually what it wound up being. And so this photo got a lot of engagement. How many people didn't buy tickets but were engaged in the post? I don't really know that. I would really have to go back and find out how many people ordered online or paid at the door, because we have both of those options. But I don't know, because a lot of people would be engaged in that and say, oh, that's a really cool picture, and move on. And that's your chance, but you engage them. And that's what photos and videos do. They engage people more into your content. So a few more things about videos and about photographs. You can use both. You can use a video, or you can use a post, or you can use a photo. You can't use both with one post. You have to use one or the other, but you really need to use them strategically. If you are trying to attract attention and engage with people that like hummingbirds, you're not going to post a photo of an eagle, because they have nothing to do with one another. And the people that are going to read that post are going to be highly confused, because in your post, you're talking about hummingbirds, but yet you have a photo of an eagle. So you have to be very strategic in your message. Your photo and your video need to speak to the message you are getting out. And what was really significant that I found in doing some research for this webinar is that a video delivers almost half of the value of your post, even without reading it. And that's pretty significant, because you're engaging people in that space where it's attractive and it's interesting and it's colorful, and they don't even have to read your message because you've already engaged them. So if you have a message to back up that that content of the photo or the video, you have grabbed their attention. Now, whether they do something with it, whether they watch the video, whether they buy tickets, whether they go to your website, is up to them. But you've engaged them in content. And the more you engage them in content, the more they're going to come back for more. So let's go to the ASPCA video on Facebook, and all of these are videos. And there's a trend out now to caption a video. Now, this video does have sound to it, but you don't need it. The story is right there in front of you. Their message is the pup made an incredible transformation, and they're telling you what this pup did to make this transformation, how the people rescued him. That's their message. That's part of their message. So their content, their written content, is backing up what their video is showing you. And most people actually would watch the video, not even read it, because sometimes the text goes by pretty quickly and you can't read it all, but they're still engaged and they're still watching it. And that's what you want your content to do. You want people to engage with it and watch it. The next one, who doesn't know what Fabletics is? If you don't, it's athletic wear that was designed by Kate Hudson. So she is the owner and the spokesperson. And this does have sound. It has music in the background. but their message is right there. Their CEO is right there. So if you like Kate Hudson, or if you just think she's attractive, you're probably going to watch this brief video on their Facebook page. And if you're really engaged, if you really love their workout material and their workout outfits, you're probably going to be a little bit more interested and dig a little deeper and maybe go on their website and see if there's something you want to purchase. And Philabundance here in the Philadelphia area, I think most people know what Philabundance is. And what they do for starving families around the Philippines.
Telethon. Join our fight against hunger.
From all of us, thank you for supporting the 6ABC Dunkin' Holiday Food Drive to help end hunger in our region and give to families who need it most.
Thank you for supporting the 6ABC Holiday Food Drive to help fight hunger in our community.
Happy holidays from NRG to you.
Thank you so much from Foreman Mills.
Acme thanks you for your generous support.
So this video says a lot. It says, one, that they thank the community for helping in their fundraising efforts. They still have their fundraising logo and their link up so that you can donate. And they're continuing their mission. And this is the perfect, and these were all on Facebook. So this is and this is why people use Facebook the most, is because it is the most engaging. And videos just pop out at you. And that's what you want. You want something that's going to engage your audience. So now we're actually going to separate them a little bit. So what's the difference between using photos and using videos? Well, the photo needs to really correlate with your message, as does a video. But if you're going to have a holiday party and it's going to be virtual, you don't want to have a photo of a huge hall filled with a lot of people. That doesn't correlate with your message. You want the photo to be powerful and interesting and strong and colorful. You want it to grab someone's attention. And if you go into a retail store and you're looking for a specific, I think this goes for women more than men, if you're looking for a specific top, you're probably going to look at one that is maybe bright pink or green instead of gray or black, because it pops, it's eye-popping, and it's engaging. And the most important thing with videos is, especially if you are cross-promoting. For the Metro chapter, Philadelphia Metro chapter, we had a virtual holiday party in December. We also had an ugly sweater contest, and we designed an origami box, and it was really a lot of fun. So I thought, okay, well, it's virtual and it's holiday, so I need to find a photo that matches that concept. This was the photo I found. And the first picture is on the main event image in Eventbrite. So when I made the posting to Facebook, it had a link to where you could buy tickets. So the photo is exactly the same. But when I posted it to Instagram, that's the next picture, it's the same message, a little bit, the words are changed around a little bit. But if you can see, the photo is a little different. I cropped it, I moved it in, I made the parameters the way Instagram would like you to make the parameters of your image. And I sent out the same message with the same link, but the message was really focused on the Instagram audience than with the Facebook audience. And then the second one, I sent out a Twitter, since we had an ugly sweater contest. That was the lead sentence, because I figured Twitter is usually, you use Twitter like 244 words. You have 244 words to get your point across. So I wasn't going to expend to 244 words. So it was like, everybody loves a good holiday ugly sweater, but there was no image. But if you click the link, it went back to our website, to the blog about the party. And then there was the link in the blog to go buy tickets for the holiday party. But as you can see, each one of those has the same photo. It wasn't confusing. I mentioned the ugly sweater contest. I mentioned it was a virtual holiday party and there was a link for tickets. There's nothing confusing about that. Your message has to say the same no matter what order your words are in. So you have to make sure that you use the same photo. So now on to videos. Your videos they need to be worth watching. They need to be interesting. And they need to be, think about your Facebook feed. What videos catch your attention? Are they active? Do they have kids in them? Do they have dogs in them? Are they about social work? Are they about the industry? What is it that catches your attention? So if it catches your attention, someone else is going to be interested in that as well. And as I explained earlier, video delivers almost half of the value of your post. And in the new, as we saw in the other Facebook links, the new trend is a captioned video. So you can watch the video with no audio. And as a matter of fact, when you're creating videos, you should create them without the audio. If the video is engaging without the audio, it's going to be more engaging with the audio. So you need to also make sure that your audio is engaging and goes with the video. Now, this is a video from Dove USA. And we don't need the sound for this because this also is an example of the captioned video. If you were to play the sound, if you read the captions, that's exactly what they're saying in the video. Oh, here we go.
When girls and it makes a difference in the world.
I see a future where everyone's working together to build self-esteem.
So see, you could have watched that without the audio and still have gotten the main point of what Dove's campaign is. Okay? When to use photos and when to use videos. You have to consider where you're posting them. If you're posting to Facebook and Instagram, they lend well to both photos and videos. But if you're posting to Pinterest, you're better off using a photo. You have to know what, and this is important, you have to know what your audience is watching. And the way you find that information out is to look at your analytics on your site. Your analytics in Facebook and just about every other social media site where you can have a business account will tell you with each post who watched it, how long they watched it, when they watched it, and how they commented on it. Did they like it? Did they love it? Did they share it? So you have to keep an eye on your analytics. You have to focus on creating content that appeals to your audience's needs. It doesn't matter what my audience is. It doesn't matter what your neighbor's audience is if they have a business. It's your audience and your audience only. And one thing I ask myself before I post a photo or a video is, would I enjoy this? Would I like to see this? Does this engage me? Sometimes I have written the message and I have looked for a photo. And then I look at the photo and I think, the message doesn't really match the photo. And I really love the photo because it really speaks to my message. So I rewrite my message. So like I said in the beginning, they have to correlate. Your photos and your videos and your message all have to correlate. Okay, hack number 2. It's very, very easy. We all do it. You start a conversation. How many people have seen in their personal Facebook feed someone that posts a picture of maybe an ocean and a palm tree and a beach chair, and they say, guess where I'm going on vacation? That starts a conversation. You're engaging your community, and that's really important. In business, Maybe you want to ask for feedback or an opinion about a webinar, about a meeting. Did you like it? What would you like to see? How can we help you? Did you have a problem purchasing tickets? What can we do to make that process easier for you the next time? Also, just ask them something like, what would you do? A lot of real estate agents use this trick. They'll find a beautiful photo of a kitchen in a house. It may be the kitchen of the house they're selling, or it may be just a random photo that they found out on the internet. And they will post something like this. Would you like to have this kitchen in your home? Put your comments below. It's an easy trick. It's very easy because you're engaging people very, very quickly. What's stopping you? How come you haven't bought your tickets yet? How can we help you? What was your issue the last time? Why haven't you registered? Some people may not say anything over the internet or over social media, but somehow they'll get in contact with you and they'll say, I did have trouble purchasing those tickets. The link didn't work, or I couldn't find it, or maybe your link is misspelled and you missed it. So you want to have those comments. Positive comments and negative comments are positive feedback, because maybe you did something you didn't realize and it's making it more difficult for your audience and for your network to find you. Now, this post is from my sister's Facebook page, and she asks that very question. What are you waiting for? What is she talking about? She's talking about the Hollywood Hills community outside of Los Angeles. She's not talking about a listing. She's talking about the entire community. But I love this photo. It's so interesting. It's a gold Buddha on a hill with candles at night, surrounded by trees or what could be a forest. We don't really know. But it's such an interesting photo. But now, if we click on the link, we can watch the video. It's a 15-second video. So your videos don't have to be very, very long. They just need to engage. And we're going to stick with the conversation because we all have lots to say. We're communicators, aren't we? So there's plenty that we can send across to our network. We can ask an easy industry question. What does a technical communicator do? What's the difference between a web developer and a web designer? Are you prepared? Prepared for what? Well, that's still engaging because people are going to want to say, prepared for what? What did I miss? Because as humans, we don't want to miss anything. And you can do it just for fun. How many people have done this? Caption this photo. I remember a few years ago, there were some workmen working, they were removing an ATM machine from a parking lot. And one of the workers was sitting on the cement base with the orange tape around him. And I just thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen because he was drinking a cup of coffee and I thought, where's the ATM machine? There's a guy sitting on cement and the ATM machine is gone. So I did the same thing. I said, caption this photo. I got a lot of responses, let me tell you. You can also use that for business. And like I said, it engages your community and that's what you want to do. You can pay a compliment, a keynote speaker at a webinar, an organizer for a meeting, someone that ran a contest for you. Just don't send them an email or a text or a thank you note. Make it public. Put it on your Facebook page. Put it on your Instagram page. Send out a tweet thanking this person with a picture of this person and a link to maybe the speech itself or to a written copy of their keynote speech. make it public. If you do that, make sure that your keynote speaker or the speaker that you're featuring has social media so that you can tag them in your social media, because then it will show up on their social media, so you will get more engagement. Or you can recognize a milestone within your organization, as the Flyers did when Joe Watson retired. They're saying goodbye to him. They're sending him off with good vibes and good vibrations, and they're sending you back to their website to read the blog about Joe's contributions to the organization. So, hack number 3, and some people will roll their eyes at this, and that's okay. My recommendation is to pre-schedule your posts. Personally, I can't tell you how much time that saves me. And it helps me organize my thoughts and my posts. But there are pros and cons. So some of the pros are, it provides flexibility. How does it provide flexibility? If you have a certain day and a certain time that you post, if you pre-schedule, say a week or 2 or a month ahead of time, you can be anywhere and you'll get a notification that your post went live. You could be on the beach, you could be in a webinar, you could be at lunch. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be logged in. You don't have to be anywhere. Your phone can be off, your laptop can be off, and your post will go live. You also help your audience because you'll be more consistent. If you have issues with getting and posting on time, say you post Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, and one night you go out for dinner, and all of a sudden now it's 6 o'clock, and you go, oh my gosh, I didn't make that post. Your audience may be there waiting for something, and they're not getting it, so they may go somewhere else. You may lose them a little. So it provides the constancy of posting when you want, where you want, and what your message is. Plus, it also helps you organize your content message. If you are organizing a conference and you are 6 weeks out from your conference, maybe there are certain messages you want to get out to your community and to your network. So you want to build your message up so when they can buy tickets. So you want to start to entice them and excite them about the conference. Well, this is a great way to look at your messages in the order you want to post them. And then you can post them and schedule them so they go out in the order you want them to hit your community on. And then they're really excited. You start getting them really excited about the conference, and then you go, tickets are open, you can buy them now. Some of them are going to jump on that, and some of them are going to go, I'll wait a little bit. So then you keep reminding them that tickets are available and the conference is coming up. It's all part of the engagement. And at any point in time, if something is more precedent than something else that you've already scheduled, you can reschedule it very, very easily. The only con with that, and we're going over into the cons now, is if you're posting a photo and a video. The only thing Facebook will allow you to do is change your message. So only the text can be changed. It will not allow you to change the photo or change the video. If you have to do either one of those, you need to cancel the post altogether and redo it and then reschedule it. So the cons, mistakes. We're all human. Mistakes happen, especially if you're posting to multiple sites and multiple links. The links may go to the same place, but your audience is different. So you need to make sure that the links you are giving your audience are the correct links for that specific audience. If you're scheduling large amounts of content at one time, you as the poster can get very tired and very confused, and I can confess to that. I like to save time, so I like to, expedite what I'm doing. and I tend to just put a little bit more on my shoulders than I normally would. I like to post a month out, but sometimes I get a little bit too exuberant and I want to post, 6 weeks to 2 months out. And I start to get confused, especially if I have multiple messages. Then I start getting them mixed up. I put the wrong photo in, I say the wrong message, I posted the wrong time. So you just need to just sit back and just, take your time to do it. And one thing that this last bullet point, keep a constant message across sites, can be confusing. It can be. Doesn't mean your message is confusing. It means the way you said your message is confusing across multiple social media platforms. You have a different audience for Facebook than you do for Instagram, than you do for YouTube, than you do for Pinterest. And your message has to be written for that specific audience. So if you are pre-scheduling multiple posts on multiple social media platforms, you need to make sure that your message is delivered to that specific platform's audience. Okay, now we're still on pre-scheduling posts. So to prevent serious mistakes, I like to pre-schedule at least a month ahead of time. Any more than that, I start to get confused. And for you, a month may be too much. You may want to post a week out, 10 days out, whatever is best for you and your organization. Everybody's different. Everybody posts differently. So you just need to take that into an account. This first bullet point, the schedule post for 1 month, that's my preference. It does not have to be your preference. All of you don't, some people don't understand that your holiday cards, your birthday cards, your anniversary cards is content. It's content. It doesn't always have to be about business. This picture you see over here is on President's Day. That's content. I chose that for the band. But if you look at this post, I did the exact same post for Facebook for the Philly Metro chapter. But what's different? The photo. I wanted to be a little bit more interesting. I don't like to use the same photos when I post to different sites. Sometimes you can, but in this instance for me, I have a cross population. I have some people in the band that are also involved in the Metro chapter. So I just wanted it to be a little different. And actually, if you're a creative person, you might want that too, because you can really have a lot of fun with these posts. And again, check your analytics regularly, because you want to make sure sometimes you have someone that falls off, sometimes you have someone that comes on, and you just want to make sure that your message is still relevant to your specific audience. Always have a backup schedule. Well, I kind of do it backwards. For the community band, I actually post for a month, and then I take what I've posted and I put it in an Excel spreadsheet. You can put it in an Excel spreadsheet, you can put it in a calendar, a block calendar, but always keep it visible. You have to always keep it visible, because it's out of sight, out of mind. That's pretty much the golden rule for me, is out of sight, out of mind. If it's out of sight, I'm either going to forget to do it, or I think I've already done it, and 9 times out of 10, I haven't done it and I'm late. So this is also what I've done for the community band. I post it for the entire month of February. And if you can see, outside of President's Day and Valentine's Day, I regularly post on Fridays at 5:30. And I can't tell you, the audience knows that we're posting something at 5:30 on Fridays, and they're always there. I always get at least immediately 5 likes or comments or something as soon as we're posting something. But always have a second schedule. Always have a backup schedule, because one's going to get lost. Maybe it's going to be deleted. You don't know what's going to happen. Do it I do it because I'm a just in case type of person. So if you have that kind of a personality, two schedules, a backup schedule may work best for you. So, okay. And again, review your message regularly just to make sure. So we're actually going to move on to the next one. I think everyone has probably done this at some point in time. Run a contest, a giveaway, or a raffle. Everybody, as far as I know, loves a contest, or they like to be an active participant without being involved in the contest because you like to pick a winner. I mean, we pick a winner in our sports teams. We pick a winner, in the Olympics. So why not become involved in a giveaway? And it's a great way for your chapter or your organization to become involved more in your community and attract more in your community and be engaged in your brand. And reward your members. You don't have to give away a gift certificate. You can give away a tchotchke if you're giving it away, or you have something that someone is going to buy at a conference. You can give that particular item away for someone that maybe shares the blog on their social media more than everybody else. It doesn't have to be a gift card. People like gift cards, but it doesn't have to be that. And we actually did run, the Philly Metro chapter did run a raffle for our chapter membership. And our winner of this particular raffle was extremely excited that he won because it cost $25 for a chapter membership. So he virtually has an annual membership for free. We gave it to him. And we had quite a few participants in the raffle. So it was really a lot of fun. Now this last one can be a little bit more confusing. It may take a little bit of work for some of you, for all of you, I don't know. But building relationships with industry influencers can really help your brand. Every industry has an influencer. Okay, what's an industry influencer? It's someone that has a large amount of social media followers that either believe in your product or you believe in their product or their service, and you would like their help in enhancing your social media. I'm sure there's someone that you follow, your Facebook feed or on your LinkedIn page where they're an industry expert. And you typically maybe will be on their Facebook page or on their website and you see something you've read and you really are so gung-ho about what they've said and what they've shared that you're going to share their content on maybe your personal page. You can also do that on your business page. If there are industry influencers, whether it's web design or content strategy or graphic design, there's someone that you really admire. That's your industry influencer. You can also get an industry influencer to guest post. Maybe you would like them to write a blog about a specific subject, but you want them to become more involved in your organization and your chapter. So they write the article, you share it on your blog, on your website, and you promote it to social media. But then you also, if you tag your blogger, it'll show up on their social media. So now their followers will be becoming engaged in your activity. So this is how things go viral, because people share them to their personal page and to their business page, and people pick up on it. And you never know what's going to go viral. You really don't. But your intention should not be for it to go viral. Your intention is to engage your audience. And you need to also look at the audience of your social media influencer, because it tells a lot about them. If their audience doesn't quite match up to your audience, you might not want to use them as an industry influencer in your marketing strategy. You might still respect what they do and really believe in what they say, but maybe they're not the right influencer for your brand. Another thing you need to be aware of is that if you have marketing strategies and initiatives that you would like the industry influencer to help you with, you need to make sure that your initiatives match their initiatives or are involved within their marketing initiatives, because then they don't get anything out of it. And they want to make sure that if they help you, they're getting something out of it too. So you really have to be careful about the partnerships that you make. And of course, if you are using your influencers' social media content, you want to make sure that you tag them as well in your social media. So therefore it shows up on their social media and you may have more engagement than you thought you may have. Okay, so we're going to wrap up a little bit here. I know I've kind of given you a lot of information, and there's lots of websites out there and there's lots of content out there about social media hacks. These are just my 5 I wanted to present to you because I feel you can do them tonight. When you leave this webinar, you can do them tonight. Increased engagement doesn't happen overnight. You got to keep it slow and steady. You got to stay on your mark. You got to make sure your message is right. And eventually, as you start to engage more and more people, they will keep coming back to you and they're going to want more. They're going to want more off of your Facebook page. They're going to want more of your website. They're going to want more of you and your organization and your products and your services. And that's what you want, but it takes time. Your objective is to provide the content people want where they are. Where are they? Unfortunately, that's up for you to find out. If you are trying to attract the 18 to 25-year-olds, they're most likely not on Facebook. They're most likely on YouTube and Instagram. If you want to attract the 26 to 40-year-olds, they're probably on Twitter and on Instagram. And maybe Facebook. So you may have to do a little bit of primary research to find out where the people are, where they're hanging out and what they're looking at, because then you can develop a message for that specific audience and have a photo or a video that's going to be engaging for that specific audience so that you can attract them and hopefully they will start to become engaged in your product and your service. And what works for another organization won't necessarily work for you. You're welcome to go on many, many Facebook pages and many websites to see what's working and to see how it's working, but use it for creative inspiration because you don't want to plagiarize. You don't want to take a post and say the exact same thing or tweak the message just a little bit. You want to make it your own and you want to make it special and you want to make it engaging and you want to make it memorable because it's about you, your organization, and your message. So go to other people's pages and see what they're doing. You're not going to be able to see what audience they are specifically engaging, but you'll be able to get some type of a creative starting point so that you can get those juices rolling around in your head to see what you can do. And play around with it. Have fun. Social media, yes, it's a business. Yes, it can be very, very important to you, but there's nothing that says you can't have fun with it. It's the one thing I really like about social media. I'm not very involved in the statistical end, although it's very, very important that you know what your statistics are telling you. But it really is very, very creative. And sometimes I design a post because I'm either bored or I'm stressed or something. It's a creative outlet, and just play around and have fun and see what engages your audience. And but give it some time. One post is not a good benchmark for what your message is. Give it about 4 to 6 weeks and see what people are engaging with. And then if it doesn't quite work one week, tweak it. Maybe it was the picture, maybe it was the post. Change something about it and send it back out again. See if you get less or you get more engagement. And if you get less engagement, then if you change the way you said your message, the next time, change the picture. Maybe the picture wasn't engaging enough. Maybe they got what you said, but they just didn't think that your picture was interesting enough or your video was interesting enough, so they really weren't that engaged. And the funny thing about social media is one day people are highly engaged, the next day, not so much. It depends upon their individual schedule. That's why it's slow and steady, and it doesn't happen overnight. What you need to do is you need to provide the content for when your audience appears. You don't want to wait to find your audience to post your content. You want to keep posting your content so it builds up. So when your audience finally arrives, they're going to say, wow, there's a lot of information here. And they're going to dig deeper. And that's what you want. That's the engagement that you want. And the thing you can do tonight after this webinar is anything your business or your chapter or your organization posts, share it on your personal Facebook page, share it on your personal Instagram page. Yes, you're not, it's your personal page. But if it's interesting information, the next person's going to look at it and go, you know, I don't really know this organization, but this is really cool info. I didn't know this. It's still engagement. And that's what you want, because over time, you're going to build your engagement. And that's what you want. It's a slow, steady build. You have to start with a foundation. Then you build upon the foundation a little at a time. And that's what social media takes. It takes time, and you have to build the foundation first, and then you can put down your cement floor. Then you can build your walls. Then you can put in your drywall, and then your ceiling. It's just a building process. But in the end, just have fun with it. Really, just have fun with it. So that's what I have this evening for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. My contact information is right there. If you would like, if you have any questions that you didn't think of in this webinar, you are welcome to send them to me, or you're welcome to give them to Anne-Marie or Erin, and I'm happy to answer them, and I can give you an answer after the fact. If you're stuck on, you know, how much content you have, what your message is, and you want me to look at your Facebook page or your Instagram page or your website, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm happy to help. You know, I'm here to help you grow your content and make it engaging for your community. So thank you very much. I really appreciate everyone attending this evening.
Great. Thank you, Maureen. In fact, we do have one or two questions, and I think we have time. I have a few moments. This has been great. I've been thinking of ways I can improve my social media. There's two questions here that are related. And so it says one, when you had the cast picture of Les Miserables, it said, did you find that cast picture in Creative Commons, or did you need to pay for it? And then the related one is from Mike. You can just use, you can't use any image due to copyright, though. If it's for marketing purposes, you have to spend money for the images. So I think both of those questions are relating to when can we use free, I guess, visual graphics, and when do we pay for it? And that was
those are great questions. That photo, actually, I found. The band had actually paid for that particular photo, so we already had the rights to that photo. But I used three specific royalty-free photo curators, and it's a free membership. The photos cost you nothing. In fact, if you look at both of those pictures from Mount Rushmore, I got those from Pixabay.com, Pixabay. I also use Pexels, PEXELS.com, and I use Unsplash. There's no fee involved at all. There's no cost involved. You can download 4 different sizes that correlate with each image, and the more resolution, the higher, the larger the photo is. But those are the 3 royalty-free websites I use, and you can get. They have a plethora of photographs, and they're always adding to them. They've never disappointed.
Okay, and I think MK that was her question. So MK, if you want to just maybe just post if your question was answered about what sites you use for graphics, free ones. And then I think we have 1 or 2 more questions. I just want to make sure that MK, you have your question answered. Joanne asks, which apps are you using to pre-schedule your posts?
I actually use Facebook most of the time. We have a large, for the community band, we have a very large community that are really invested in Facebook. So I pre-schedule my posts in Facebook. Now, Facebook owns Instagram. So sometimes I pre-schedule both Facebook and Instagram. Sometimes I do them separately. And you can actually do them separately. You can you can pre-schedule a Facebook post and then go back in and do it to your Instagram post, and you don't have to do them simultaneously.
Okay. And MK said that yes, that you did answer her question, and that she uses unsplash.com for conference presentations. Most photos ask that you credit the photographer.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
And then I'm going to assume then, Joanne, you had your question answered. We have a question from Heather, and she says, how often do you post announcements as reminders for an upcoming event? Is there a magic number for reminding people of an event?
There really isn't a magic number. You have to kind of have your own magic number, and that is just feeling things out. I actually, just going back, we have a webinar for the Metro chapter on Thursday. So typically I kind of went into my email and my Facebook page to see when I get reminders, and I've kind of patterned that after the way I did things after that. So typically I would say your first post, depending upon what you're posting for, like for a conference, you want to at least, I would say, like an invitation, 4 to 6 weeks out, so that there's plenty of time. You make your initial post. And then I'd say for the first 2 to 3 weeks, a weekly reminder will work. But as you start to come to the closer to the conference, you need to beef that up a little bit. So I'd say at least twice a week, or and as you're coming closer to the conference or the event, then you want to have one the day before, the day of, an hour before, 45 minutes before, and then just before it starts. Because you always have a last minute attendee that goes, I forgot about it. So you want to beef up the closer you get to the event. Okay,
great. You know what? And I think you answered all the questions.
Oh, good.
I think MK had just a comment. Pre-scheduling is the best for promoting events for communities.
Yeah.
And I think you touched on that. So I'm just going to look one last call here for questions. Everyone said that you have answered the questions they asked.
And if you think of anything after the fact, please, let me know, or let Erin and Anne-Marie know, and I'm happy to get back with you with an answer.
Great. All right. Well, thank you again, Maureen, for really just valuable information and very entertaining. I think you demonstrated it too, along with giving us the message. So thank you so much. And thank you everyone
Thank you, everyone.
attending.
I'm very appreciative that you've been here. I hope I've been able to answer some questions that you've thought of today and maybe thought of tomorrow. And, if you think of them tomorrow and I haven't answered them in the presentation, then, like I said, please reach out to Erin or Anne-Marie or contact me directly, and I'm happy to help you along.
Okay, we do have one last question. Will the slides be shared?
I actually have note pages that I prepared for everyone. So either they're going to be sent via email, or I can actually send a link. I think Erin, I sent the note pages. It's a PowerPoint, but I can certainly send that out to anyone that would like them.
Yes, I'll share that with the recording link.
Okay.
So yeah, so that'll come. So look for my email. It'll come by end of week, and that will have all those attachments with it.
There's also another attachment that that'll be coming. I've suggested some online video software where you can actually make your videos online. You have to be careful with some of them because they all have a trial period, but then after the trial period, you may need to use, there may be a nominal fee per month or per year. You can also do it on your phone. You may need editing software. You may know someone that knows how to edit videos. It depends on how intricate you want to be, but I'll provide you some links for some software and the photo links. And also you have to be careful with your LinkedIn, your Instagram, and your Facebook. They require your images to be a certain size. So I've provided a link to a blog as well. If you know how to size photographs. And so I say, if you go back and you go on like photo editing software, there's a link for those as well. You'll be able to size your photos up if you don't have Photoshop. So there's always a way to get around it.
Definitely. That's great. Okay, well, there's no more questions. And again, thank you very much. And everyone, thank you for attending. And next month, remember, March 23rd, we're going to learn all about Instagram. Thank you.